Hi everybody, Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here. Today I wanted to do a quick video on printing specific pieces of a digital kit instead of reprinting an entire page. Oftentimes when you have a digital kit, you print out all the pages from the kit and you worked on some ephemera from those pieces, and then you realize that you would like to create some more ephemera using only parts of the pieces from the kit. So for example, in this digital kit that I have open right now, I've printed out this page and I've used all the pieces to make ephemera, but I would like to create some more ephemera, some different pieces using some of these pieces again. So for example, I don't want to use the tabs again. I printed out the 6 tabs and I don't need any more, but I do want this blank blue tab. I would like to have this shell, and I would also like to have another strip of tickets that I can print out. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file to put these images into so that you can print just another set of the ephemera that you would like. So if you go up into your menu bar up at the top on the left-hand side, click on File, and then choose New, and then choose Blank File. In the document type selection, I'm going to choose US paper, but you can select whatever paper size that you're going to be printing on. And then I'm going to click OK. And when I do that, you can see I have a brand new file here that's blank, ready for me to start putting things into. And then what I want to do is I like to work sort of in the same layout as the pages that I'm copying from. So for this, I'm going to change it to a landscape orientation. And so to do that, I'm just going to click on Image, Rotate, and then choose 90 degrees right. And then you'll see I'll have it in the same format as these other, the pages that I'm working from the digital kit on. The other thing I'd like to do is expand this to make it a little bit bigger for me to kind of see everything better. I'm going to click on View up at the top and then Fit on Screen to make my new file nice and big so that I can see when I'm pasting things into it and moving things around. So now I'm going to go back to one of my pages that I would like to use some of the pieces from, and I'm going to select the pieces that I want. Okay, so now we are going to select the items that we would like to reprint. So to do that, in the Select box over here on the left-hand side, I want to be sure my rectangular marquee tool is selected. And when I click on that, I should have some tool options down here at the bottom. And I want to be sure that the new selection is the item that I have selected. There's a couple of different options here, and I want to make sure that new is selected. So as we select each item, we want to have a new item selected the next time we make a selection. That's what that's going to do for us. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my mouse, and in the upper left-hand corner, or one of the corners of the objects you're selecting, you're going to click and hold and then drag your mouse so that your entire piece is selected. And so you can see here I have the marching ants around my tickets, and that is what I want to select first. And so now we're going to copy this selection. So if you're a keyboard person, you can use Control C. If you're not a keyboard person, you can go up to the Edit menu and you can choose Copy. And then we're going to click on our new file that we created, and we're going to paste. So Edit, Paste, or you can Control V if you're a keyboard person. And this is how we're going to put every element into this new page that we would like to print. So I'm going to go back to this page, and I'm going to select the shell this time. So I'm going to just click and hold in one of the corners of the shell, and I'm going to drag around it, and it is now selected. And you can see that it's the only thing selected. So the selection around the tickets went away, and that's because I have the new selection option for this tool selected. So now I'm going to copy the shell. I did a Control C. I'm going to my new file, and I'm going to do a Control V. And you can see it's going to paste everything in the middle. And once we get all of our elements in here, we'll move them around. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to select the tag that I would like to have now as well. Now, if you have elements that are up against each other, the selection is best started on the opposite side or away from those things, because then you can make a more precise selection. So I'm going to start here in the lower left-hand corner, and I'm going to go down. And when I go up here now, I can look right exactly where that is to make sure I'm just getting the tag and not the edge of the tabs, hopefully. And then when I release, you can see my selection is right on the edge. And now I'm going to copy again. And actually, it looks like I may have gotten some of the shell there. So I think I'm going to do this one more time. So I just clicked once to remove the selection, and I'm going to try that again and try not to get any of the shell in there. I wasn't paying attention to how far over I was. So I'm just going to make sure I get the end of the tag, and then I'm going to make sure I get right below the tabs. All right, that looks a little bit better. Once again, Control C to copy, go to my new file, Control V to paste. And we did get a little bit over here, but that's okay. I'll show you how to deal with that. Okay, so that's all I want from this file. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one down. And we're going to our other file where I want this shell. So I'm going to make sure I have my tool selected again. I'm going to select just the shell, copy it, go to my new file, and paste. And now I'm just going to quickly do the other ones that we have so that we can get to the next part where we rearrange everything and get it to where we want it to be. Oops, try that again. Okay, so now we have everything we want from our kit, and it's all been pasted into our new file. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our Move tool. So back under Select, you're going to choose the Move tool to start moving things around. So I want to move things out of the way so I can kind of see what I have here. I have a couple shells and tags. And now to make this one easier, I'm going to rotate it. So to rotate it, you can go to Image. Well, first thing you have to make sure is it's selected. So make sure you see the dots around it so that we know it's selected. And then go to Image, Rotate, and we're just going to rotate the layer 90 degrees right. So now you can see everything sort of facing up, and I think that will work better for us. Now there's a couple of places where it looked like I had some copy over from some of the images that might have been alongside of them. So for example, like this blue tag, you can see here as I zoom in a little that I actually copied some of the tab that was next to it. So what we're going to do is make sure our layer is selected, and we're going to choose our eraser tool over here under Draw. And then what I'm going to do, depending on what size it is, I'm going to reduce it down. And I'm just going to very carefully, and of course, it would get cut off probably after I printed it anyway, but just in case you need to do that, that's how you do it. This one also has a little line on it. So I could select the, whoops, I could select the stamp layer and easily delete those lines as well if I wanted to do that. But because I'm going to be cutting it out, I'm not too concerned about that. So now we have to get everything in here to fit. So I'm going to go back to my Move tool, and I'm just going to make sure I give myself a little bit of a margin when I'm printing things. So I'm going to just move things around. And now this will fit in here nicely if I could get it to rotate. So I'm going to do my rotate again for this shell. So I'm going to go to Image, Rotate, and I'm going to do the layer 90 degrees right. And so now we have that shell fit in. So now everything can be printed from this one piece of paper, and I'm not wasting any ink on elements that I may not be using. Okay, all that's left to do is to print out our elements. So from here, this is the only item I have open right now, and I'm going to go to File and then Print. And when the print dialog opens, in just a minute, you want to go through these selections and make sure everything is how you want it. So for example, make sure you're selecting the right printer if you have more than one printer in your house. Make sure that your printer settings are what you want them to be. If you're printing on cardstock, you may want to change your paper type. I'm going to be printing on a presentation paper, which I'm just going to leave it as a plain paper. If you want your print quality to be higher, make sure you click on Change Settings so that you can change it to a high quality or photo printing if you want to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. And then also make sure your paper size is correct, which it should be since we've selected it when we created the file. And then you select your print size. We want it to be actual size. And then I'm just going to look at this and make sure everything made it into the margins of the printer, which it looks like it did. So the last thing left to do is click print and have it print out on your printer. And that's it. I hope that was helpful, you guys. Please let me know in the comments below if there are other Photoshop Elements tutorials that you would like to see. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope that you give this video a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.